Hey everybody, it is Qqcknd and welcome back to 5 Fact Friday. I think it is almost 10 o'clock at night. I don't know what to do about that. My blanket is on my lap, but I didn't do 5 Fact Friday last week, so I wanted to do something today. I spent the day filming something special for the upcoming Tattoo Talk Tuesday, so the wheels are always turning. And yeah, I mean, I'm never not thinking about like what's gonna happen next. People are like, why does your banner say upload daily when you don't? And I'm like, well, it feels like I am, and the daily content is there, so I love you guys. I feel bad for skipping it because my whole thing was like, oh, I never skip 5 Fact Friday, but now that my channel is like growing and everything like that, and I still work during the week, sometimes I just have to give up certain days to do other things. And some of you guys know that John and I are painting our house, and I don't know, it's been really hard. I feel like I didn't know that we were only sticking to like this part of the swatches. So now I feel like our house is all white. I don't know. I'm feeling super bad about that. Please hit me up if you have any color advice, because I hate that John and I are like, I don't know, arguing over the house construction. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of like stereotypical. Like, I was hoping it would never happen. And then all of a sudden I'm like, I hate that sink. When like last year I was like, I don't care what the house looks like, I'm just happy to have a house and I live in it. So who knows? Who even knows? Can you do a small feature on how sponsorships work for 5 Fact Friday? I think it's cool that you're open about doing that. I don't think people should have to have an issue with it. I mean, you can do what you love and get paid for it. That's awesome. So I would love to talk about this. I think it came up a little bit. It came up on my Snapchat. A ton of you guys snapped me and congratulated me. I got some cool comments on the video, if you guys know what I'm talking about. I recently did a sponsored video, and I feel like people are a little hush-hush about sponsored videos, or they're out in the open. So sure, like, I don't mind talking about it. I always want to keep this like an honest relationship with you guys and me. There's not a ton of stuff I know about sponsorships, and there's not like a ton of brands that reach out to me. My channel is a lifestyle channel, but I feel like it is very niche because I do often talk about tattoos and other stuff like that. So I feel like sponsorships don't often come my way. I think a lot of sponsorships are usually chosen with vloggers who like are more fashion or makeup, things like that. I think if you are ever looking for sponsorships for your own channel, those are definitely channels that are favored. You guys say it the most. There's been a lot of growth on my channel recently, and I think it's amazing. I can't even understand it. I think in the last like 6 weeks, we accumulated 20,000 new subscribers. So I love you guys. Introduce yourself if you're watching 5 Fact Friday. I think with all that growth, I think this company noticed it, and I had a sponsorship for an app. So the way it worked out for me might not be the way it normally works out with other YouTubers. I don't have a manager and I don't belong to a network. I kind of like represent myself. Management is basically just like John and I exchanging memes and me asking him if something is a good idea. So I was contacted by this app, and the whole thing was like, you know, create content for this, and it can kind of be whatever you want as long as it kind of fits the theme. And I think it's great. Like, I think that sponsorships, you know, if they're very candid, sometimes it can be weird and feel artificial. But I played the app. I downloaded the app to see what it was about, and I played it for about 2 weeks. and I still haven't deleted it off my phone. I still have it on there if I want to play it, because I wanted to play it long enough so I could understand it, especially if anyone messaged me and had questions, or if there was a level they couldn't beat. I wanted to make sure that I was playing it for a while and that I understood it. And I mean, I guess I didn't have to do all that, but I didn't want anything to be artificial. So I played the app for a little while, and then I accepted the sponsorship. So the way sponsored videos work, sometimes a company will send you something for free, and you can decide to use it or like promote it, put it on your Instagram, put it into your routine. That's why I say it's a lot easier when it's a makeup company, because you can just kind of be like, do like a makeup video and just include it in there, and that seems really seamless. This was more like I had to come up with like an idea, but I wanted to do the get ready with me video anyway, so it was just nice that they sponsored it. And I mean, I'm a smaller YouTuber, so sponsorships aren't going to come my way very frequently, and I was like honestly really happy to do it. Lately, I've been putting almost 100% of my time and effort into my YouTube channel. If it's filming, editing, teaching myself new editing techniques, coming up with concepts, meeting new people, and just like all of that, I can't even tell you guys how much time I use. And I don't want to say waste or like take up, because it's all so fulfilling and so it makes me so happy. But there are times when I'm talking to John and he's like, hey, why don't you call one of your friends tonight? Or why don't you see what's up? And why don't you go to a coffee shop? Why don't you take it easy? Because I do burn myself out pretty quickly with YouTube stuff. Even tonight, I think I woke up and got ready and filmed and edited until now, 10 o'clock. And in that time, I ate a cheesesteak. So yeah, I can easily burn myself out, and sometimes it's really nice when a company can contact you and offer you recognition. So I figured if I talked to you guys and made it seem like very uncandid, I said like this video was brought to you by, which is language that we all understand and that we hear pretty frequently when we're watching our favorite TV shows or whatever, radio broadcasts. So yeah, actually, like, I was really stoked to have a sponsored video. It took us a little while, us, John and I, exchanging memes. It took us a little while to sit with it and for it to be okay. But honestly, it was great. It stimulates the channel and it makes a lot of things. It just feels good to be recognized, and I guess to be compensated for hard work, because you guys know that I put a ton of work into the NYX Face Awards video, and spending, you know, like 3 weeks to develop a concept and a script, and finding that time to film and have the house to myself and get the lighting right, get the makeup right, buy the products if I didn't already have them, pay for the magazine, find the music, everything. Like, some of you guys are YouTubers yourself, so you understand. And then, yeah, it just, recognition is cool. And the way it works, you know, sponsors will contact you, and if it's something that you don't freak with, then you just say like, oh no thank you. But if it's something where you're like, oh, that's harmless and that is something that I can freak with, then honestly I think it's okay. I think YouTubers out there who are much more recognized than me and who've been doing it much longer than me, when they are sponsored, I always give them the benefit of the doubt. And you'll see, you know, people on Instagram with their fit tee and stuff. And I was talking to my friend Livia about it before I accepted the sponsorship, because I was like, oh, you know, like, I have weird feelings about this. And she was like, I follow a nail art Instagram. And she said the girl She does nail art. She does different nail looks every single day. She posts something every single day. And she said the girl got a Fit Tea sponsorship, or whatever tea it is. I don't know what tea it is. The tea. You know what I'm talking about. So the girl got the tea sponsorship and she made a post about it. And she got a bunch of people unfollowed her. She got all these nasty comments like, you're a sellout, blah, blah, blah. And the girl came back out and said, like, I paint my nails 3 times a day for you guys. And a company recognized my hard work and they wanted to pay me for it. And I think that that's fine. I mean, I'll see it on Instagram all the time. And you scroll through and you notice that that one post has like half as many likes. And that's fine. I think it's fine. Sometimes things are like really heavily sponsored, and I think as a YouTuber I have a sensitivity to it because I can recognize the brands or the dialogue, because there is a special language you have to use when a video is sponsored. You can't fake it. You cannot pretend if you are receiving products or money or like affiliatedness. You can't pretend like it was your own idea. That's illegal. So there's a special language you have to use when something is sponsored. So I kind of have a sensitivity to it and I can notice it. I don't know if you guys out there can really notice it too. I can understand that it would disrupt your content if you are seeing it all the time. I also have a sensitivity to like product placement. I was a communications major when I was in school, so we had classes on product placement. So I feel like I'm like really sensitive to that stuff too, just because I recognize it. But it all started with TiVo and Netflix and the idea that people no longer are affected by advertising because they fast forward through commercials, or they pay for a premium service where there are no commercials. And that's where product placement, although it's always existed, that's when it became really sneaky and really like in your, like not it like in front of your eyes, but like past your radar. So online, I think that content creators are a great way to sell products, and I can't even tell you how many things I bought or even just looked up online because Graveyard Girl like farted in the direction of it, like Tarte, and I was like, I love Tarte. So I think that product placement is like really, really, really effective. But it can also be really rewarding for the people who try really hard to create content and they dedicate a certain amount of time and effort to it every day. Are there some people who are just good looking who get paid to just hold on to a fucking cup of tea? Yeah, but people are following them, so that lifestyle has a following and it has a dedication to it. 15 minutes about talking about sponsored videos. This is how I feel. I was really honored to take a sponsorship. You guys know that all the money that my channel generates gets put back into the channel, and the channel fulfills me. There's so much I want to do with it, and even today, like the video I made today, like the whole time I was editing it, I was like, I wish I had audio equipment because the audio on this video sucks, and I know someone's gonna tell me and it's gonna make me sad. And I mean, should I be basing my purchases on the negative YouTube comments I receive? I don't know. But I was like, man, if only I had a green screen, if only I had audio equipment, if only I could go to South Korea. So, I mean, I tell you guys all the time, I wish YouTube could be my job, but it's not. It's just like a really super duper involved hobby that I have that I think about constantly, and I'm on my phone all the time making sure that it's okay and you guys are okay. And there are YouTubers who can make it their entire career and who have managers and assistants and I don't know, spokespeople and brands that represent them. And I don't, so having a sponsorship was cool. I know someone was like, oh, I know we live in a capitalistic society, so I understand why you have to do it. And I was like, oh, like, I guess like cold hard cash definitely didn't drive me to specifically do it. It was more along the lines of a reward for hard work. I can't put it another way. Like, I teased you guys, and I was like, oh, like, we could really use a new fridge. I mean, literally, we're building an entire house, so literally I could use a new kitchen, because I don't have one. You know, that was kind of just a joke. Really, I just meant, like, hard work should pay off, so that was all really cool. So that's how I feel about sponsorships. Oh my god, I took up this entire video talking about it. This is not an episode of Dear Diary. This is 5 Fact Friday. But I love you guys, so I don't ever want to keep anything from you. So, what is your favorite kind of meme? So my favorite kind of memes are CAPTCHA memes. And a CAPTCHA meme, let's just see if we can pull one up right now. CAPTCHA memes are when people kind of create art to go along with weird things that, like, the CAPTCHA text has made. So, like, here's one. They're so good. And I remember John had no idea what CAPTCHA memes were, so we looked at all of them the other day. So I'm sorry if I'm not, like, busting out laughing, but I did just, like, look at all these. And my other favorite meme, I guess, is Peanut Butter Baby. And there is this one Vine called Peanut Butter Baby Chill Out, where it's just the Peanut Butter Baby, and he goes, ah. And then this, like, really chill music plays. And I just fucking love it. Let me know if you guys have been listening to the new Radiohead album, Moonshaped Pool. It is so good. I've been listening to it non-stop, and it is the first thing I've ever downloaded on iTunes. But you guys know that Radiohead is, like, kind of a little different with their CDs and stuff, their albums. I have to start saying albums. So I actually am, like, a CD collector, which isn't cool, so I don't talk about it because nobody does. But, like, if you ever go through, like, my music iPod, you strangers go through it, everything, it's never just, like, one song. Everything is an album, and everything is very full length and everything like that. I used to have every CD of everything. When I was younger, I would walk to Siren Records and I would buy full CDs. I had so many CDs. And when I moved out, some of you guys know, like, when I turned 18, like, I was asked to leave. And my brother moved into my room. Like, 6 months later, I came back to my house to get a couple of my belongings. And my brother had been using my CDs for, like, BB gun practice. I mean, at that point, I had transferred all of my CDs onto my external hard drive. Like, when I had to leave, I, like, bought a hard drive and was, like, downloading all of my content on it. I was like, oh my god, my computer. So that's why sometimes you'll see that I have pictures on these videos from, like, I don't know, 2005, because I have everything ever on my external hard drive when I moved out, including all the albums I've ever owned. Long story short, I don't have any of those real CDs anymore. I have a couple. I have, like, 3 more CDs and, like, a Saves the Day CD. And, like an MF Doom CD. Like, that's it. So I ordered, like, when Joanna Newsom's latest album came out, I ordered that as a CD because that's just, like, what I'm used to. And then the Radiohead CD doesn't come out for another month. So I was like, alright, I'll wait. And then, like, 4 hours went by and I was like, can't wait. So I downloaded it to iTunes, which I've never done before. It was, like, weird for me. And my phone, like, doesn't have, like, a music icon. So I don't, like, I have to, like, I sound so old. Where's my music? Where's Radiohead? So I have to like, yeah, like, that's it. That's all I have on there. And I love it so much. If you're gonna download it, my favorite songs so far, definitely Daydreaming, definitely Full Stop, Glass Eyes is very good, and True Love Waits. You can find Daydreaming on their official YouTube, but so far I have not found any of their other music online. I think they're doing a really great job, like, not letting the music leak anywhere. So good for them. So my final question that I'm going to do is for 5 Fact Friday. Most reckless teenage act or something you did that taught you an important lesson when you were younger. I like your stories. As a teenager, as some of you guys might know, I got pretty in depth with like how I grew up in my Did Depression Save My Life story, which I can link down below if you guys want to watch it. Because I definitely participated in a lot of like self-reckless behavior that like made me bad, like a human. But there's like a couple stories that were definitely like, I used to sneak out a lot. And it's funny because like the last couple nights, the way the weather has been reminding me a lot of this. And one of my coworkers was like, oh, what are you doing tonight? And I was like, oh, I really want to like open my windows and put a chair by it and sit by the open window. And she was like, what the fuck? And it was because when I was younger, like teenager, I used to sneak out at night. And not to like really get into trouble, but my bedroom was in the basement. And we had like, you know, the little emergency windows, whatever, but I could fit through it if I slid through it and then went under my deck and then I was outside. And sometimes the thrill of just being able to sneak out like really fulfills you. So it was kind of challenging to sneak out because I would like make my bed to look like a person was sleeping in it and then stack up a bunch of stuff so I could reach the window. But then I'd have to knock the stuff over in a way where it wouldn't look like I just snuck out. And then to sneak back in, I would just lunge into the room because it's always easier to land than it is to climb and kind of just do stuff in my neighborhood. I went to high school in the suburbs, not in Philadelphia, so, you know, just walk around, like be with the pine trees and kind of just be around. My town had a curfew, which just made it even more exciting to be outside, honestly. I was doing that for a while, probably like winter to summer, before my neighbor told my mom. And I remember I had my senior portraits taken, and they sucked. I didn't have braces yet. I got adult braces later in my life, so my teeth were all jacked up. I remember I was smiling like this, and the photographer lady was like, smile with your teeth, smile with your teeth. And I was like, no, bitch. And she was like, smile with your teeth. And the teeth picture is the one they ended up choosing, and I was like, you would. So when my senior portraits came to the house, I was like, Mom, can I get retakes? And she was like, no, you sneak out of the house. I was like, oh my God, excuse me. The neighbor had ended up telling my mom, and I was like, why would the neighbor tell on me? He sold me pot before. That's weird. I remember sometime in high school, this girl I was friends with, later on you realize that people aren't really friends with you. They're just eating all the food in your fridge and stealing all the clothes out of your closet, and then they talk shit on you. But it was high school. I didn't have a ton of friends to pick from. There was this one girl, and we got along. And I was like one of the first people, I feel like, to get my driver's license. I was just really into it. I got it when I was 16. And one of my friends, she was, I guess, I wouldn't say like cheating on her boyfriend, or her and her boyfriend had just like freshly broken up, kind of in that time frame where you're like, are you guys just fighting? So she was like, oh my God, let's go. My friend has a beach house. Can you like drive me to the beach house? Like, you can come. And I was like, oh, like, I don't have my own car, I just have a driver's license. And she was like, oh, my Nana, I can borrow my car, like a car from my Nana. I was like, who is your Nana? So we borrowed a car from Nana, and it was like a nice little car, like just a little fucking Nana car, no miles on it, because Nana only drives it to the store to buy cigs. So we drove all the way to the beach, and it was like the first time. When I was a child, there were no smartphones. Between both of us, maybe one of us had a cell phone, but it wasn't like that back then. It's 10 years ago. Oh my god. It was 10 years ago. So we drove to the beach, which was like 2 hours away, and I remember we actually got directions by stopping every couple miles and asking if we were going the right way. It was pretty fucked up. But I remember not telling my mom I was going, not because I probably wasn't allowed. I just like never told her that stuff. I was probably like, I'm sleeping at a friend's house. And then that was it. So we got to the beach. It probably took us like 5 hours instead of 2 because we drove like the wrong way the whole way. And like followed street signs. It doesn't work. So we got there and I like parallel parked like a badass bitch. And then, like, very overwhelmingly realized I was there so she could hook up with this guy in a very, like, candid way because no one would suspect that Amanda drove her. So when she was like, oh, I'm gonna spend the night here, like, you can just, like, was like, oh, but you're wearing my shirt. But really, I didn't really cause a fuss. I was like, oh, okay. And I took Nana's car home, all the way home from the beach. And I remember driving home alone was a lot easier. And I even got like coffee from McDonald's, which was super weird that I was at a different McDonald's. And I drove home. And I ended up having Nana's car for like 3 weeks. It was like so fucking cool that I had like my own car because I didn't have my own car at home, and I went to a high school where a lot of people had their own car, and it was just awesome. I drove it around, like I didn't really have anywhere to go, but like I just had my own car outside, and having that feeling was so cool. It actually got to a point where I was feeling really nervous that like no one was looking for this car or like contacting me for it. So first I left the headlights on one night and the battery died, and my snitch neighbor actually gave me a jump. And that day I was like, okay, let me return Nana's car in case this is like a bigger problem that the battery didn't start. I learned later that it was because of the headlights. So I actually drove it to Nana's house where I like remembered we got it from because I didn't know Nana personally. I actually drove it to Nana's house and then walked home because I had had the car for so long and no one had said anything to me. So that ended up being something, I guess, reckless turned responsible that I did when I was a teenager. A couple years later, I realized that like half of my friends treated me like fucking shit. And after that realization came to me, I no longer felt guilty about how long I kept that car and how much like just like night drives I took with the windows down, feeling really nice. And although like totally taken advantage of and all of that, I felt like in the end I got an alright end of the deal. This is 5 Fact Friday. I love you guys so much. Definitely check out the video that's going to be coming out for Tattoo Talk Tuesday, just because I think it'll be cool and it's a little different, and you guys know I'm always doing something different. I get a ton of questions from you guys, and if you feel like I'm never answering your question, sometimes it's because your questions inspire an entire video that I want to create, and I'm only one person. So definitely I'm going to be creating a 3-part series all about my mouth hygiene, my teeth routine, my healthy smile routine, my hair care routine, and my skincare routine. So I'm gonna make 3 different videos about that because I think I get a ton of questions about it. If I knew how to make a nail video, I would, but ever since the YouTube Qcknd meetup, I've been getting my nails done because I want to stay fancy for you guys. I love you guys, and definitely submit your questions down below in the comments. It's the best way I'll see them, and give this video a thumbs up for yourself because you guys deserve it. I love you. Bye. Hey everybody, it's Qcknd, and today I wanted to talk about something a little more serious and